I want to show you guys something as I'm sitting here waiting for nails to be completed, and I've got ample time to kill. I see a young lady here on her break, in theory, taking a smoke break and more than likely filling her mind with more of the same and the doom scrolling that has become a pretty much standard practice for our society. As I am engaging in a little bit of it myself here on TikTok, but for a completely different reason, and allow me to explain. And so I came across this video from this young lady, and her name is Carhartt98, or at least that's her screen name here on TikTok. And folks, full transparency here, I am sitting in the vehicle. I brought my laptop. I brought my laptop bag, which has pretty much all my essentials. I've really trimmed down on my equipment and gear for this very specific reason of simplicity, ease, versatility, to be very mobile, all the other adjectives you could use to describe it. And I have a tripod selfie stick, which odds are I'm probably going to design a case to hold all of this to simplify it for me, and then offer it up for sale for anyone else who'd like to take advantage of it. My microphone's here, wireless. I like good audio. I like good video, but besides that, that's pretty much where it stops. What's most important here is the information that I'm going to share. And I feel as though value doesn't require a lot of editing. And there's that. And so this young lady here, I open up TikTok. This is the first reel that I'm shown. And the caption on the screen reads, "We don't make enough money." And this is what she had to say.
Everything is so expensive right now, and I don't understand how people aren't talking about it. We don't make enough money. Collectively, we do not make enough money. The price of not keeping up with how much we're getting paid. And it's infuriating to me for people to say that people just need to work harder. People need to get different specialized degrees. People need to start their own businesses. That's not the answer. The answer is that
I would have to disagree, because I think people are talking about it. However, the answer is going to depend on who you are talking to. And honestly, I'm not 100% sure on who she's talking to. I don't know if she's actually really complaining about the issues and problems that she's facing financially. Many others may be as well. And trying to relate and connect to an audience of other people who want to cry about it and complain about it in their car, or if she's actually trying to connect to those people for her own selfish benefit of producing revenue, building an audience, and perhaps maybe even entertaining some sponsorship opportunities in the future, because she has this crowd of people who will tune in on a regular basis to numb, or maybe provide confirmation to the bias that everything's too expensive, they can't afford it, and in no way, shape, or form would working harder, building a business, making more money, getting a better job, the list goes on, would actually be a reasonable and a fathomable solution. I don't know if fathomable is a word, I just made that up. But as I am scrolling, I am not scrolling for confirmation. I'm scrolling for the opportunity to deliver a message, have this talk, have this conversation. How am I delivering that message? By creating content. The answer is creating content. The answer is creating content. The answer is creating content. I'm not going to downplay working hard and going to college and getting a degree and all the other things that could possibly lead to a successful future. I'm also not going to pretend that making content isn't hard work. However, I will say that almost anybody can create content. Not almost anybody or everybody can go to college, go to school, have the time availability to get another job. Whereas you can create content as I am while sitting in my vehicle, or at least my wife's vehicle, waiting for nails to be done, instead of scrolling and essentially just falling into the void of nothingness that is social media for the most part. I'm actually using it as a tool to make more money. Crazy. I do this every day. I have done this for years, okay? And I'm sharing this with you all because I'm not the only one who does it. And I'm not saying, you can too, even though I am saying you can too, but I'm really saying that I'm not the only one who does it, as you can scroll through your feed of subscribers and followers on any platform, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, whatever else is out there, X, and see how many people you're following, see how many people you're subscribed to, see how many people's memberships you are paying on a monthly basis to be a part of. Odds are you're probably not even utilizing the resources that they're giving you as members. Speaking from experience here, I don't know. I got hundreds of members on this channel and I post content and the members don't watch it. What are you paying for? What are you paying for? And I look, I'm not lumping you into this category, but if you yourself are saying or asking or maybe agreeing with this young lady here that wages aren't keeping up, how can we do better when the system is designed for us to fail? And, the wealthiest of wealthiest billionaires and top 1% of 1% are hoarding wealth. Meanwhile, you're scrolling, you're doom scrolling, you're wasting money, you're paying for things you're not even using, and you're missing out on the exact opportunity that you are in essence looking for.
And it's infuriating to me for people to say that people just need to work harder, people need to get different specialized degrees, people need to start their own businesses. That's not the answer. The answer is that
creating content that then will pay you, put money in your pocket, okay? And these are the things that we discuss in my circle, my friends, my family, and for folks over on Patreon.
billionaires are hoarding wealth. And this system is set up to fail. And I'm just infuriated by it. I can't get ahead. Every month I try to get ahead and I can't get ahead. And I don't know how to cope with that. I don't know how to cope with that. Everything is so expensive, especially in the last 6 months. I can barely get by. So I don't know how I'm supposed to retain hope. Am I supposed to get a doctorate so that I can afford a studio apartment? Is that where we're getting to at this point? I don't know what the answer is to this, but it's so fucking bad. And I just wanted to get on here and tell you, if you are experiencing the same thing, you're so not alone. Everything is so expensive and it's infuriating to me. Everything is so expensive right now. And
I just wanted to get on here and tell you that if you feel this way and you're not alone, however, at the same time, maybe genuinely she doesn't have anyone to talk to, or at least in a way in which I would talk to her or talk to you and say, okay, things are expensive. I get it. Let's figure out a way to earn more and spend less. Let's just do that. Because sitting here continuously harping on and complaining isn't actually a solution, okay? Unless you're doing it on purpose to generate views, create a viral video reel, and make a few hundred, if not $1,000 on TikTok or some other platform. This young lady in the comment section here has generated some responses. Let's see here. The first one says, $100 feels like 20 now. Maybe 20 feels like 5. 20 feels like 5. I find myself tipping people $20. Like, we had some furniture delivered, $20. 2 guys, $20 a piece. Pizza, $20. Like, I feel like $20 is the new 5, because I feel like 5 is like, you can't even go buy a chicken sandwich for $5. Ask me how I know. It's kind of crazy. Chicken sandwich is almost $6, but it's kind of cool. They gave me one for free. That was last night. I went to Chick-fil-A. I was recording a video from my car channel. I have multiple channels, multiple streams of income, creating content, and I'm not going to stop. I'm not going to quit. I'm only going to amplify and increase, expand my reach and my earning potential, which also leads to business opportunities and passive income. And this comment says, I make $27 an hour and I can afford less now than when I made $10 an hour 15 years ago, which really triggered my memory to what I saw yesterday, what I watched from Epic Economist. And here's that.
Red flags keep popping up for the U.S. housing market. Sticker shock, sky-high mortgage rates are leaving buyers frozen, sellers trapped.
Anybody that reads charts, and they saw the charts, long-term charts of real estate and of the stock market, like say the S&P 500 NASDAQ, they would say, oh yeah, we're in a big 5th wave top, and we're going to have a A-wave crash that's going to go back to the 4th wave low. The 4th wave low is March 2009 for stocks. You know how big a stock correction that is? 94% for the NASDAQ, 86% for the S&P 500. You know how much that is for the average house? 60 to 70%. This would make the 2008 downturn, where housing went down 34% and stocks went down 57%, look like nothing.
I've shown you the data before, but it bears repeating because it is the absolute core of this entire crisis. Wages have simply not kept up with inflation for at least the past 20 years, probably much longer. When home prices outpace wage growth, affordability declines, and demand dries up. That's exactly where we are right now. A house that cost $250,000 before the pandemic shot up to $400,000 in many areas. So that's a 40% increase. But here's the math that gives me hope for buyers. Prices only need to fall by 20% to bring that house down to $320,000. And when you factor in inflation, that $320,000 house in 3 years is actually cheaper than the $250,000 house was 5 years ago. You with me? That's great. Look, the home build...
A coworker was telling me to budget, and I was like, don't piss me off. No amount of budgeting can save me from not being paid enough. And it comes down to mindset. And if, depending on how you feel will determine, your outcome, your future, your potential. And if this is the type of community you want to be associated with and involved with, of people saying no to every possible answer and solution that other people are actually doing, that's fine. That's cool. But if you would prefer to be a part of the community that says there is a way, there are answers, there are solutions, they may not necessarily be what you want, they may not necessarily be super easy, but we don't have to allow the situation to completely kneecap us, okay? And if you would prefer to be in the company of people like that, like-minded folks who have already succeeded, if not working on success, rather than complaining and crying and whining and moaning and groaning and trying to cope, then there's a link down below to Patreon where you can join us. Amber says, I crash out at least one a day over it. I truly don't understand how this is sustainable. And it's not really, I mean, it's not really sustainable, which in essence it is, because it's been this way for as long as I can remember, longer than I've been alive. And there, it's just how the system works. The key is information. The key is education. The key is taking action. The key is having some sort of support system, mentor, advice, advisor, consulting, like a coach of some sort, which, hey, call me coach, I guess. But I'm not trying to crash out. I'm not trying to consume this content just to fill my time. I'm literally using this as a simple and easy method to deliver information, valuable information to whomever it reaches by literally doing that one thing, creating content. If you want to get started making content, let me know.